They don't fully grasp what it truly is, as most of them are simply staring at LAR images, but this is something completely different. What we're looking at is not just a mere architectural marvel, it's a meticulously organized, deeply structured site, with pillars that seem almost out of place in their symmetry and precision. Everything about this is strange, almost otherworldly. The Great Pyramids of Giza have stood as silent sentinels for over 4,500 years, watching over the desert sands and guarding the mysteries buried within. These incredible structures have captured the imagination of millions, inspiring countless theories and stories about their true purpose. Were they just grand tombs for ancient Egyptian pharaohs, or is there something far more profound at play here, something that might change everything we know about ancient history? Some believe the pyramids were far more than mere tombs. Some speculate they were ancient power sources, structures capable of harnessing energy in ways that are beyond our current understanding, and maybe even centuries ahead of their time. In recent years, researchers have turned to cutting-edge AI technology in an attempt to unravel the secrets of these monumental structures. What if the pyramids weren't just giant stone tombs, but pieces of an ancient technology we've yet to fully comprehend? Could the pyramids have served a purpose that goes far beyond what we've imagined? To understand the Giza Plateau's true significance, we first need to look at the conventional narrative. According to traditional history, the pyramids were constructed during Egypt's Old Kingdom period, specifically in the 4th dynasty, around 2600 to 2500 BCE. Pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops, commissioned the construction of what we now call the Great Pyramid. His successors, pharaohs Khafre and Menkaure, built their own pyramids nearby, creating the iconic pyramid triad we still see today. These colossal monuments were part of much larger, intricate complexes that included mortuary temples, causeways linking the temples to valley temples near the Nile floodplain, subsidiary pyramids, and a host of other supporting structures. Inscriptions and records from other Old Kingdom sites help us understand how such monumental structures were organized and funded. Ancient texts point to the fact that the Egyptian state was well-resourced, with vast agricultural surpluses that allowed the ruling powers to command enormous labor forces. It was this labor force, comprised of skilled workers, who built the pyramids. Excavations of workers' villages near the pyramids have revealed evidence of their daily lives, bread molds, fish remains, tools, and even signs of mass provisioning, all pointing to a highly organized and resource-intensive operation. These workers didn't just come from nearby areas, they were part of a vast, coordinated effort, rotated in shifts, and provided with food and tools by the state. Officials made sure that the workers' efforts adhered to the highest standards, ensuring that the pyramid's geometric design and construction were flawless. For the ancient Egyptians, the pyramid was far more than just a massive building. It was a sacred gateway, a link between this world and the afterlife. The pyramid served as a means for the deceased pharaoh to ascend to the heavens, joining the gods in eternal life. The internal chambers, corridors, and often complex room systems were meticulously designed to facilitate burial rituals and protect the pharaoh's soul in the afterlife. Hieroglyphic inscriptions throughout the pyramid complexes emphasize offerings, prayers, and rituals meant to ensure the pharaoh's safe passage into eternity. In fact, priests continued to maintain the pyramids long after a pharaoh's death, tending to them as sacred sites for centuries. Over time, the pyramids have changed. The smooth, polished limestone casing that once covered Khufu's pyramid was removed, and now, we only see the rough, inner core. Much of the stone from the surrounding temples and causeways was Scholars now propose that the entire Giza Plateau was designed not just as a burial site, but as an immense sacred space, where the pathways from the Nile directly led to the very heart of the burial complex, connecting the living to the divine realm of the gods and the afterlife. This spiritual connection between the living and the dead was of paramount importance, and the pyramids stood as monumental gateways to the heavens, bridging the earthly realm with the divine. For centuries, the prevailing belief among archaeologists was that the Giza Plateau's subterranean features were relatively limited in scope. They envisioned only small, narrow tunnels beneath the massive pyramids, most of which led to burial chambers or smaller shafts designed for the elite and nobility. Along the outer edges of the plateau, rock-cut tombs suggested that burial practices and ceremonial rites extended beyond the pyramids themselves. It seemed that the subterranean realm of Giza was confined to these more modest features. However, this long-held view has been dramatically upended in recent years. With the advent of new technologies and sophisticated scanning techniques, archaeologists have uncovered vast, hidden chambers deep beneath the surface of the plateau, as well as wells and tunnels that stretch far beyond anything previously imagined. These findings suggest that the ancient Egyptians were far more adept at subterranean construction than we could have ever anticipated. The newly discovered underground features have completely reshaped our understanding of the pyramid complexes, revealing that their underground components may have been just as significant as the towering, above-ground structures we have long admired. In fact, these subterranean realms could have held profound spiritual or functional significance that we are only beginning to comprehend. Traditionally, we've been told that the construction of the pyramids relied on basic tools, copper chisels, flint blades, and heavy dolerite stones used to pound and shape the limestone blocks. Simple sledges were used to move the massive stones into place, and yet this rudimentary toolkit has always seemed inadequate to explain the enormous scale and complexity of the pyramid's construction. Archaeologists have found these tools across Egypt, and they certainly provide a glimpse into the daily lives of the workers, but they raise further questions about how such tools could have been used to accomplish such an extraordinary feat. The discovery of these extensive underground chambers beneath the pyramids has cast doubt on the old assumptions. How could such vast, deep chambers have been excavated with nothing more than copper tools and primitive digging methods? It's a question that is now challenging many of our previous assumptions about the capabilities of ancient Egyptian engineers and laborers. Could the Egyptians have developed specialized techniques for tunneling and excavating large underground spaces that we've yet to discover? Were there skilled artisans, perhaps a distinct group of stonemasons or master craftsmen, who had specific expertise in the art of subterranean construction, overseeing the excavation of these immense chambers? This new evidence invites us to rethink not only the techniques used to build the pyramids but also the kinds of knowledge and expertise that may have existed in ancient Egypt. It suggests that these workers, far from being simple laborers, may have possessed highly specialized skills passed down through generations. Their methods, their understanding of geology, and their use of tools could have been far more advanced than we had imagined, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in the ancient world. In the past, the primary methods of archaeological research involved excavation, epigraphy, the study of inscriptions, and comparative analysis of architectural styles across various ancient sites. These techniques, while invaluable, often required the physical disturbance of the monuments themselves, sometimes resulting in the irreversible loss of critical elements of these ancient structures. As such, the preservation of delicate, hidden features has always been a concern in the field of archaeology. Now, archaeologists no longer need to disturb the fragile integrity of the pyramids to peer into their hidden secrets.